I moved to a tiny mountain town in Western Canada one summer, chasing solitude, nature, and a break from everything familiar. May still wore a touch of winter here, and ski season was winding down. People were cycling through the staff apartments, new faces arriving, old ones vanishing one afternoon. I returned from a solo hike, mud on my boots, and the scent of pine in my clothes. As I fumbled with my keys at the third-floor apartment door, I caught a glimpse of someone else down the hall. She had messy, dark curls and freckles, scattered like constellations across her cheeks. My roommate had mentioned we had a ridiculously hot neighbor, and as she gave me an uncertain half-smile while fighting with her own lock, I figured this had to be her. "Hey, how's it going?" I called out casually. She blinked, startled. Do I know you?" "Nope," I grinned. "Just saying hi." I disappeared into my apartment, wondering why a simple hello made my pulse quicken. A few days later, I was at the only pub in town with a group of new coworkers. Music pulsed, beer flowed, and laughter filled the air. I ended up chatting with 3 women at the next table, 2 Kiwis and an Aussie named Elle. Elle was totally my type. That slow-burning, poetic type, sun-warmed voice, thoughtful eyes. When she mentioned she was heading to Montreal, my hometown, to work, we spiraled into hours of conversation about neighborhoods, food, and late summer thunderstorms that rattle the windows. Later, she returned from a game of pool and asked, "Do you live in the X building, by any chance?" I nodded, curious. "3rd floor." Again, "Yes." She broke into a grin. "I think you're the one who said hi to me the other day." We both laughed, and something clicked. Like fate, wearing a flannel shirt and combat boots, over the next few weeks, I kept running into her. There were only 4 bars in town. After all, slowly, casually, we became friends. I never told anyone I had a growing crush on her, but apparently I didn't need to. A couple of nosy coworkers investigated and came back with news. Elle had a girlfriend back home in Australia. Classic, I muttered. She was gorgeous, funny, and somehow deeply kind. Of course, she was taken. Worse, there was this other girl who was always hovering around her, touching her arm, whispering in her ear. I assumed they were hooking up. My trust in beautiful, magnetic people wasn't exactly rock solid, so I shut it all down, declined her invitations, shut off the part of me that hoped. Eventually, I caved and agreed to go on a hike with her. It was a warm, dappled afternoon, the trail quiet under our feet. I asked about the girlfriend. "We were together for 5 years, she said softly. "But it's not what it was." "And the girl who's always with you?" Elle rolled her eyes. "A friend. She has a crush and doesn't get that I'm not interested. It's complicated." What wasn't complicated was this. Elle wasn't a player. She wasn't a heartbreaker. She was just a good person trying to figure things out. So we kept spending time together, laughing, talking, sharing music, sharing silence. I told myself we were friends. I told myself I was fine with that. Then, one night at the pub again, she leaned closer and said quietly, "I broke up with her." I needed to. It was long overdue. I nodded sympathetically, offering kind words. Inside, I was screaming. Weeks later, a group of us went cliff jumping at a glacier lake. I had grown up doing it. Nothing scared me, until it did. I jumped from too high, landed wrong, and everything went black. I woke up on a spinal board, numb with pain and morphine. The doctor said I needed to be moved to a bigger hospital, hours away. Before the ambulance took me, I made one call. "Hey, I broke my back," I slurred. "Headed to Fernie for treatment. Maybe, maybe not. See you later." I don't remember much of what she said, just her voice, the worry in it. 4 days later, braced and bruised, I came back to town. I hated how fragile I felt. The brace wrapped around me like a cage. I avoided everyone. Then, I bumped into her at the bank. Elle. One look at her, and my heart exploded. There were no more doubts, no more convincing myself. I didn't care. I did. Desperately. Something shifted after that. Almost losing everything changes how you love. There was no hesitation, no fear. We were a spark that turned into a wildfire overnight. We spent every moment we could together. Kisses on mountain trails, secret handholds under bar tables, laugh in the morning light. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. The kind of real that hums in your bones. Then summer ended. She moved to Montreal. I got accepted for a year-long exchange to Australia, something I had dreamed of for years. Perfect, right? Almost. We've been together for nearly 2 years now, exploring her hometown, cooking together barefoot, making long-distance work for months at a time. But now, my visa's expiring. I have to go home, and we've decided, reluctantly, painfully, to end it. Not because we don't love each other, but because we don't know when or if we'll be in the same place again. Some people call that heartbreak, but I call it a miracle. Because for 2 years I loved and was loved by someone who changed my world, and that even if it ends here, was worth everything.